All right, I would like to finish this up, but I'm sure that we will find a lot of struggles along the way, because why not? But we're gonna get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Rusty Oliver Man. This here 175 Allis Chalmers that belongs to Dad is almost finished, but we want to clean up, replace valve cover gasket, wash all this off. Yeah, in the real world it would have been nice to wash this off before I started, but it was totally dead and I couldn't move it around, and that was just too much hassle to try to drag it that far. It's just easier to unload it and start working on it, plus a lot of the mess is in areas we weren't working in, so it was fine. But we got another issue, friends, an issue that has been plaguing this tractor for the last few months now, and that is, if you leave it sit a while, it doesn't always want to start. It'll fire right up and then it dies. And I have been searching, trying to figure out what in the world is the problem. And see here we have some leaking going on, and that's the kind of stuff I'm going to address. But yeah, so what to do? Well, when I first looked at this, I thought that it had mostly tapered seats, which the pump has, and then I thought that there's a few places that had banjo bolts, and I thought we were, you know, you do what you can do for that setup. There's not a lot you can do other than change out a washer here and there. The banjo bolts weren't leaking. But the other day when I took this line off, I couldn't get it to stop leaking on the pump. And that's when I figured out that it also has rubber line sleeves in certain places. And there's one in there, and I bet this had one, and that's what disintegrated. I put a copper or a brass one in, and it stopped it. But I think we're going to just take every line loose, and we're going to try to replace whatever's in there, if that's it. Now this is going to be a thrill, because as you may or may not recall, I really rode the struggle bus on this one under the tank here to get it loose for some reason. Just because, no reason, you know. And it might even be worth now to just get let's just get a stubby wrench and be done with it, because it is a 9/16. But we will take loose everything we need to take loose here. And we'll start with this line, because it's obviously leaking there, which I don't know why, because it wasn't a problem before. Maybe the vibration loosened it. But I'm 90% sure now that there is a rubber sleeve on the tank end. So we'll start there, then we'll start here, and we'll go. And we'll just keep going down the line until I've replaced all the rubber line sleeves, and hopefully it will not have that problem anymore. Never mind the mooing in the background. The cows are very upset that I won't let them do what they want to do. They want to go somewhere that I have blocked off, and they're not happy. But tough luck. They can just deal with it. I'm getting frustrated too, because I got so much stuff to do, and I'm not going to get it done before it's dark. Oh boy. I don't know why this one is. Maybe it's being a problem because this one is so tight. Let's take this loose, and maybe that'll take the tension off of it, and I can turn it by hand then back at the tank. This one though wasn't leaking, so I don't know why it, like I said, I don't know why it decided today was the day. But this is the only thing left I can think of, is that the things are sucking air in there somewhere, and that's why it keeps doing this problem. There's one. Come on, baby. Oh, guess what, friends? That one does not have a rubber That one has a brass ferrule, so I just did that for nothing. This one should have a brass one on it, so I did that for nothing. So, awesome. I like doing stuff for nothing. My goodness, friends. I am about ready to cry, and it's not even the beginning of the day yet. All right, let's put this one back in. Now that we've totally wasted our effort on everything. Oh, this was the other day. I had the same problem with this one. Not wanting to play nice. All right, well, number one, we struck out. This one I know for a fact has a line sleeve behind it, because I thought it doesn't look very good. However, you can see the struggle bus that we're about to endure, which is we're right up against this tank, friends. So what does Ross do? Then after we're done with that, there's another one right there. So it is possible to get this loose, because I had it loose the other day. It's just very super frustrating. So I don't know. Am I doing the right thing? Well, I was told by other people they had a similar problem on a 180 one time, and they ended up replacing all the rubbers they could, and it never had that problem again. So certainly makes sense. Makes me nervous to be taking this loose, but because I had such a struggle bus with it. I could cry. I mean, I almost want to take that whole filter housing off and work on it out in the open to try to eliminate this issue. Come on! Oh. Alright, if I am correct, down inside of here is a rubber line sleeve. And we're going to get that out of there. I'm going to change that with a new one. The reason being is that sometimes sometimes air can escape easier than liquid. So it might not be leaking, but still letting air in. And this is very brittle and crusty, so it would be a good idea to just go ahead and replace that anyway. Yeah. See, that's not really doing the thing anymore. So I got several sizes, and I'm assuming that these are 1/4 inch. I looked at the parts book though, friends, and it showed different ones, like all over this, and sometimes on the same tube, which I don't understand, unless they intended for one of those to be brass, and now they're all replaced by, like, they all cross over to this rubber. That's very entirely possible. Well, that didn't work very good. Here I thought I was doing a good thing, and I didn't get her. We'll get it though. Let's put this on there. Put this on there. Oh, we're gonna struggle bus it. Yeah, that's... I don't like these for this exact reason right here. Because we are going to spend all afternoon or morning struggle busing it with this rubber. That's right, donkeys. That's right. This is a terrible thing. Come on. Come on, rubber. All right. This will be a very difficult thing to get this back up in there. and started just because of the fuel tank. So yeah, prepare yourselves for rooster noises. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Something else happened here, which I think happened last time too. I lost the... Did I lose that ferrule that was in there? Okay. Well, now it's time to get a mirror and see if that brass ring is inside of the... I don't know how I do this stuff to myself. Nope, there's the brass. It did form. But the parts book shows another one of these rubbers on there. So, I don't know, friends. Is that what a guy puts on here? See, there's all kinds of, I don't know. Like, it looks like it'll go, but it doesn't want to start. Come on. Okay. We can only hope that this solves this issue, because it's very frustrating if I had to keep doing the same stuff every time. This one now. I think those are as good as they can be. I'm going to turn the fuel on and see if I see any noticeable drift starting. I should really probably dry it off with brake clean so I could actually tell whether or not there was, I don't know. It's just ridiculous, friends. Well, I don't see any fuel spraying out anywhere up there so far. So let's continue on our way. We've got this one back here. Let's see, that would be tight. I want to go this way. It'd be loose. Trying to go bus. Maybe if we took it loose on the other side, that one would turn easier. This one's gonna go in here. So what does it have? Does it have a tapered seat on the fitting, or does it have a rubber sleeve crammed in there, or a brass ferrule? I don't know. See, I thought foolishly that these were all tapered seats when they had a nut like this, but apparently they could also be rubber sleeves, and that's just kind of absurd, really. And then look at that. I'd say that has a rubber sleeve, that has a rubber sleeve, and if this one does, then those two do, and then that one could. So it's possible that a lot of this stuff was causing our issues. Okay, well, that didn't go like I hoped it would. Yep, that's gonna have a rubber in it because of the way that it is. And we might have to, I don't know what we'll have to do yet to get all that settled. We might have to, boy, that turns so hard. I don't like that. I wonder why. Is it the rubber? Luckily, I bought enough different line sleeves of different sizes because I didn't know what I was going to get into. The parts book called for 8 of the one of them, and then the other one it called for like 2 or 3. And so far, I haven't seen the difference, but I don't know. They were cheap enough that I'll have some extras on hand for different stuff. I don't typically have a lot of use for the rubber line sleeves, but every so often I run into something that takes them, and sometimes it's easier to just replace it than to change the whole thing to something else. But if it's my own, I usually do away with them. I usually go to some type of metal on metal fitting that'll seal. Oh boy. It's not going to be happy till we take the fuel tank off. That's what the ultimate end result is. Because look here, now I got it's in a clamp. It's in a clamp on the back side of the head. And there's just enough room to aggravate you, you know? I almost wish I had washed this now first before doing this, but I thought, hey, before we start it, I'll do this real quick. Have that all prepared so that after I run it to go wash it, then I'll know after it sits a while whether I really accomplished this task or not. But I don't know. So far it makes me wonder, am I doing the right thing? Wonder if this will be like a through hole to water, and it's going to start spraying out water the second I take this bolt hole out. Why not? Why wouldn't it be? When I'm done with this though, it ain't going to leak anymore because I've had it. I can't live life like this where he calls. Yep, it is. That is a through hole with water in it. Dang it. Isn't that nuts? I knew that was gonna happen. I'll put it back in for now to slow the spread. 30 days to slow the spread. Oh, we're not gonna be able to get this out of there, are we? Seriously? Oh my gosh. Ferns. What we got here? We got a rubber in there. This one's bound to have one in there that is now buried in there. See if we can pick it out of there. Yes, it is in there. Doctor's orders. No. And I don't have a pick with me, so. And I need something 90 degrees, so. Let's see if this pick will actually do the thing. Probably not enough. It's probably, yeah. I was hoping I could get it stabbed and pulled out of there. I can feel it, but I can't get it to move. I need something a little bit more 90 degrees than that. Oh goodness. The 90 degree pick in the service truck is broken. So I'm about to the conclusion that since I have multiple things, I'm just going to take the filter housing off because I'm over it, friends. Let's have a look-see. I'm struggling today, friends. Can't hardly, I got something in my throat or something. Can't hardly talk. Ugh. This part here is going to take over an hour just doing rubber line sleeves. And I had hoped to be already done. We might end up changing this fuel filter again because it looks like it's leaking in places, but I don't really know what the story is there. Let's see what it's got on the injection pump end. we're just going to take it all the way apart, because it's getting new everywhere I can put them. I'm sick of this nonsense. You would think eventually it would get where it turned by hand really easy, but it doesn't. I'm not having any luck with that. All this stuff wants to fight me to the bitter end. This is totally not working. Why? Why? There we go. Well, that one was sealed, and it's not anymore. Let's see what we had. Well, it looks like we had rubber on both ends of that one. Let's see what we can dig out of here. There's the one that was on the injection pump. So, sure. Uh-oh. We break a screwdriver getting on down there? That's nuts. Well, friends, that stuff likes to be in there, because it is unbelievable. Wow. Though if you mess with it and blow that out, just pieces of rubber come out. So, very obviously, this is not wasted effort. But what is going to be sad, and it's not wasted effort either, is taking the filter housing off just to get the rubber out of the back of that one. I've never seen something quite like this, I guess. What's this one going to be? What type of fitting are you? Won't go. What's that one? Yep, same thing. Same sort of thing. On both ends there. It peed all over my boot. Okay. Let's get that dug out of there. I want to... Maybe. Maybe not. Like I said, it's kind of amazing that that old rubber won't just give it up. There. There's another one. Okay. That's going to come out in chunks. Knutson. Okay. Now we need to decide, is this going to take the same size, or does this take a bigger size? I would think it took the same size. Hope I got enough of these. I got a bag of 10, but looks like we're going to use all of them by the time we're done. I thought it said 8 of them. I want to get that filter housing cleaned first, though, before I get wild with this. Thought it would be nice to, you know, keep the dirt out of the pump, but I don't see a way to do that without this being in the way, so we'll hang it out here in the open, maybe. I'll have to take it loose later. Let's put one on both ends of this line. Trying to keep inventory here to make sure I got enough. Okay. That one. Got one on it. And we'll put one out here. Okay, it may not make sense what I'm doing, but at the same time, it does make sense what I'm doing. I'm just replacing rubber sleeves in any measure possible. This should have one. I mean, it shouldn't. It should be brake fitting. Oh, that's got a brass ferrule. That's good. That saves us a hassle there. This one's a different size, of course, because I don't have that with me. But I'm hoping it's the same way. See all the work I got to do just to get to the place I want to go. Just to get that silly filter housing off, I got to take all this other stuff loose. So I can dig out the old rubbers and put it right back together. But we're going to, well, we'll get this filter out of the way. What's on there? Rubber. That one, it had a rubber, but is it disintegrated? Or is it still in the head? It's still in the head. Okay, so we need to, I got smaller rubber too, because I knew that was going to happen. So anyway, let's not worry about that just right now. Let's focus on getting this all the way loose. I don't suppose that that's gonna, it's probably not made to that, is it? It's just a nut on the back side. Should start turning anytime. Yeah, there it goes. I knew it would. Again, had I known I was about to get into this struggle of sadness, I would have washed it first. But I foolishly thought I'd just pop in a couple of these, and then we'd work on it all day, and then at the end of the day we'd be able to tell whether we fixed it with this. But that was foolishness, friends. That was foolishness. Alright. It's okay though. We've been dirty before. Take this filter out of the way. We'll put that line back in behind it, bolt it to the head again without this in our teeth, and then we'll start going back together. But this has got to be what was causing our issues. All these rubbers sucking a little bit of air here and there, because otherwise I don't know, friends, what else is. Let's try this. Is there enough room for my ratcheting function? Probably not. Nope. Well, come on. There we go. A little. All right. Now, we can see all of our rubbers. And we're going to chisel it out, I guess. Come on. Man, it's almost enough to make a guy. It's almost enough to make a guy just buy a different filter housing. I mean, this is just not cooperating. Like that old rubber is, it's coming apart, friends. Well, I'm confused at how this setup works, friends, because as I'm looking at it right now, my fuel is coming into this one with the in arrow, but I can see all the way through here. So does that mean that this is also return fuel here, and then this is the out one that supplies the pump? Is that what it's doing? Maybe. I'm just struggling to see how it can be all the way through. I guess that would make sense, the supply, and the return would go in the same port because it would go for refiltering. This is bad, friends. I mean, what do? Keep sawing? I guess I'll shut you off because I'm going to work at this a while to get these out of there. I don't know what else to do. We spent 46 minutes on this already, just getting this far. So that kind of ruins my plans for today, getting this as far as I thought I would. Okay, friends, we're about done on the struggle bus of sadness, I hope. So I got this all cleaned out, which was not an easy task. Ended up having to take the filter loose just so that I could get, well, I was worried that I was going to get rubber shavings in everywhere, so I wanted to make sure I could clean this out good. So that's what became of that. But anyway, I got the line tied on the other end. I've got the clamp back bolted to the block, where I have also put some sealer on there because, as you may or may not recall, just a second ago we discovered that potentially is a wet hole. It didn't really gush out a bunch, so we probably check to make sure we didn't lose. I don't know why we would have lost any antifreeze along life's way, but I would think that if it was wet enough that antifreeze came out when I took that bolt out, it would keep streaming out. But maybe it has a very good seal, like airlocked, and it wouldn't do that. I don't know. But we're slowly plugging away here at making this a lot better than it was, because those rubbers, everything I dug out of everywhere was awful. I mean, it was definitely time to do this, and it is very possible that was what was causing his no start issue. Sometimes that it would suck air. But now we're going to know that everything has been touched by our holy hand, and it's going to be hopefully fixed. Let's see here. Is this gonna work? I think our new little tank has come in the mail, so we will do that, but I think I might wait to do that till after I wash it this time, actually, so I can get this what am I trying to say? Well, I'm gonna have to make something to make it hook to this bracket, because I'm sure that's not just gonna work like I want. It's gonna be another adventure, because it looks like this one is made with a little thing to hold it. All right, believe it or not, friends, progress is being made. It's slow, but it's been pretty steady. So when you shut off here in a second, you can know that we're headed in the right direction. And I probably will just bring you back later when I move on to the next function, instead of stopping what I'm doing and going to get a new camera battery or what have you. Because Buddy the dog, what are you doing there, pal? Huh? Yeah, you're just always ready to play, aren't you? Oh my goodness, Buddy the dog. So with the old daylight savings time, that sure cuts down on a guy's working time outside when he gets back home, because I mean, in just a short order it's gonna be dark. Sun's going down. I would have been out here sooner, but I got the check for the cattle I sold and I took it right to the bank because I wanted that in there. I did better this time than I did last time, so yeah, I hope the cattle, I mean, it's gonna fall eventually, but I hope it stays up there for a while, because last time I sold, what did I sell, 6 of them, and I got $8,000, and I thought, boy, that's pretty good. This time I sold 5 of them and got $8,000, so that's even better than last time. And kind of makes me wish that I had caught those other 2. There were 2 more that I almost took, and I didn't, but you know, it is what it is. I can take them the next go around, but it's a trade-off with weight, you know. The more they weigh, the less they pay you, but you're getting more, there's more pounds to pay for, so it all basically evens out, you know. But it's been really good right now. So this has been sitting for what, since about 1 o'clock. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's about 6 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's about almost 4.5 hours. Sorry for the rickety math. Let's see if it starts right up. This, of course, is not really tight, the rubber to that, but everything else, let's do a quick visual inspection. Everything looks dry on it. Everything looks dry. This is dry. That was leaking earlier today. That's dry. So we might have it. We'll see if it fires right up. I hope it does. And then we're going to drive it up there, and I'll get the pressure washer out, even though that's going to be miserable when the sun goes down. But we're going to pressure wash this all off so that it's clean. And then I think I'll wait till tomorrow to put the valve cover gasket on. So I'm working with a dry engine, and I'll probably be soaking wet by the time I'm done with this. So it would just make sense to wait. But we'll see if this fires right up, and then we'll live our happy life. All right, buddy boy. What a sweetheart. That's how we want it to start every time. So if it keeps that up, we'll be in good shape. Our ting-ting is carrying on and making a racket here, friends. And then I looked, and it looks like it's unscrewing itself. Or did he run it into... It is unscrewing itself, but it may also have been run into something. It doesn't look... I don't know. Maybe he unscrewed it because it wasn't flippity flopping right. So we will need to address that before we send it back. I got this covered, so that shouldn't get wet. Everything else should be fine, but we'll give it a good bath, which it has never had since we had it. I mean, it came home and went right to work, and obviously the last guy power washed whatever you could, you know, see with the sheet metal on, and now we need to clean off the stuff you couldn't see with the sheet metal on. And that way we can fix the valve cover gasket and then keep an eye on all this. And, you know, if it starts accumulating dirt somewhere or fuzz, then we know something else is leaking, and it'll be easier to maintain all that idea. So, anywhoos, let's get to washing. All right, wonder if this thing will run. It hasn't run for a while, but it's been kept in the warm. Another fun thing you can do sometime when you got nothing to do is forget where you put your green garden hose and then run the Turf Tiger over it. That'll wind up in there and gives you a good excuse to check your blades and see how they're doing while you're pulling the rubber out. All right, will this run? Maybe. Forgot how it works. All right. Sure. Sure. Well, that was fun. You only got remotely wet. I think that's going to be a lot nicer to work on now. It's obviously someone has done the silicone of sadness on that, and that's probably why it's leaking. So we'll move this back down there and let her dry off. And the new tank came in the mail today, so we can put that together. Those are the only two things I think I'm waiting on, and then I can wrap this project up. So there. Are you clear now? It occurred to me that I could wipe the lens off so you weren't looking at a blurry thing, but some of this is just, I don't know, it's like beyond power washing. I don't know what the deal is there. I'm also curious whether this thing is leaking. I mean, there was water in the diesel fuel there that one day when we started, but that could also be that he poured in diesel fuel in a can that had water in it, and it separated out like it's supposed to. I mean, that could have been happening over time, like over the last few fill-ups, and it just never got drained, and then I caught it all at once. But I don't know. All I'm concerned about now is that we got a clean-ish work area. Phillips head screws even. So yeah, I mean, once we get those two things done, as long as it keeps starting every day, then we'll be ready to put the sheet metal back on and send her down the road. I would like to, if man, if I had more time, that's the story of life, is it not? Like, I'd like to paint the wheels back cream, because they definitely, somebody painted them silver, and that's not right. That kind of breaks my brain. The center should be cream and the rim silver, but whatever. That is neither here nor there. That's not what we're here for. Oh, I do have some more stuff to do back here. I'm gonna do that he doesn't know about. I was gonna do last time it was here and didn't get it done, but everything should be in my pickup now, so we will do that. I want to put some valves in so that he can switch between rear, like the loader and the remotes. Right now, if you run the remotes, your loader's going to be going up and down, and that ain't very cool. I mean, the way they did it is they ran hoses all the way up to the loader, and then you could uncouple them, but I'm going to just put in a valve. So if you want to use the remotes, you just put the loader where you want, pull the valve closed, operate off your remotes, and then next time, you know, when you want to use the loader, you just open the valves and the oil will start going back down to where it's supposed to be. What is that, a crack, or what is that? Oh, that must have been like a coating on top of the... Okay, we're not going to look too close, because every time we look, we find more stuff that needs attention, and that ain't no fun. So I don't know what's happening here. The phone is about to go. Okay, phone, that's where we're going. Goodbye. You people have pushed it too far. I mean, in the last 30 seconds here, it's went off like 17 times. But that's fine. Anyway, I think we will call this one here, because I'm not going to work in the dark, and I'm not going to work on a soaking wet tractor to take the engine open and do something. So we will save that for tomorrow. And I think there's enough stuff left to make a whole separate video. So maybe this one isn't interesting. I don't know. I don't know what kind of footage I'm going to have from this, because like I said, we spent over 45 minutes just on getting a couple lines loose, and that is no fun for anybody. So I don't know, but we need 24 hours or so anyway to see whether we fixed all that problem, because it always would be like overnight before it wouldn't start again. And I'm hoping we got it, because there's really nothing else that it could be. I mean, if it's got all new seals everywhere through here and 2 new filters and all that, and it doesn't leak anywhere visibly, then there's no reason why it should keep losing prime and not go. So anyway, like I said, I think we'll call this one here. Another reason is because I'm short of videos, and you're going to get sick of watching me work on a pickup 2 times in a row. So I'm going to try to squeeze this one in the middle. But we got us something here, friends. We're making a lot of progress, and it's definitely going to be a lot nicer than he had when he started. And it was pretty nice tractor when he got it. I mean, at first blush, but we discovered a lot of things that we just didn't know. So it is going to be better this time. And like I said, we will leave this one here. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.